Thank you for listening to the Gateway to the Rockies podcast from Visit Aurora from the rafters of the Stanley Marketplace. This is the show dedicated to telling the stories of Aurora, Colorado. Hi there, I'm Dave, Senior Marketing Manager for Visit Aurora. 3 generations strong, Sam's Meats and Deli has served Aurora for more than 40 years, owned by the Sam family. I'm proud to be joined today by matriarch Deborah Sam and her daughter Pamela Sam-Duval. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Debbie, your father, Wayne Sam, the eldest of 8 children, he had $2 in his pocket when he arrived from China, had a dream of owning his own butcher shop. After 18 years of working as a butcher in 1973, there was a beef shortage, which created an opportunity for that. He came to California with family in tow. What kind of risk was that at the time?
I believe that I was too young to really understand any risk.
Yeah.
I assumed we were always go back to California as a child. However, that didn't happen.
I mean, that's a bold move with 4 kids. What was the impetus of that? Was there an understanding that there was an opportunity here that didn't exist in
There was an opportunity. I actually had a business partner that was getting ready to open or envision opening a big market. So my father, sought the opportunity and came. And that opportunity it didn't come into fruition. But he was waiting too long. I mean, the build out took too long. So what he ended up doing is finding a little market, and it was Harmony Market at the time. It was a little family-run business then, with the main focus as a meat display. So he took that on, and then all of his kids went to go work for him.
Your parents raised a family and ran a business simultaneously. You started participating in that business at 11 years old. I can't imagine how challenging that must have been at times. What lessons did you take from your experience growing up, and how did that translate as you became the leader of your own family and of the business?
It was a challenge for all of us working together. It wasn't always fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sibling rivalry, and I was on the younger spectrum of the kids. But he did teach us great work ethic, and that family was really important. I believe that we all worked since the time I was 11. My younger sister, she was only 9. And then my older siblings, I think maybe 16 and 15. So I think that was his way of actually watching over us and making sure that he could see what we were doing. It was not fun. It wasn't always fun because, basically all of us worked. We had 1 day off a week, all of us, from that time. So when Sam's happened, when that transpired, I didn't want my kids to have that same life. I wanted them to have a childhood.
Yeah.
However, they did all participate. I became a single mom relatively early on when Pamela was like 10, and the other kids were 6 and 4, something like that. But anyhow, they did have to come with me to work sometimes.
Yeah.
And they would help me clean up, and they would help me do the things that needed to get done.
Pamela, did you have a sense of responsibility early on to pitch in? Or at the time, was it just, I'm going to go hang out with mom and this is fun?
Being the eldest of the family, I definitely had some responsibility, wanting to be helpful.
1982, Sam's Meats opened. There you are, 19 years old with your 22-year-old brother. Confident you knew everything you needed to know to run your own shop, I imagine. What was that experience really like when you first opened up and through those first few years?
During the first few years, we did think we knew everything. We had no doubt that we knew everything. Failure wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
We just did it as being second nature. But it was hard because there's still sibling rivalry. And my father was like the person we went to complain about each other.
So therapist?
No, not necessarily a therapist.
Business confidant?
He pretty much, I think that was one of the greatest lessons, is he taught us that we had to work together. So he really didn't come and dictate. He didn't take sides. He just made us work through it.
You take pride in being one of the few family-owned butcher shops, not only in Colorado, but the country. Add to that uniqueness being women-owned, minority-owned. What is the secret not only to sustaining, but being successful for more than 4 decades?
I never looked at, the success of the business. I just did what I knew how to do, and I worked. Mm-hmm. I worked to sustain it. I envision our new location is pretty amazing. I feel really fortunate because that was probably one of the scariest moves through everything, especially since I didn't have any other family members other than my kids to help like if I failed, then it would have been all my failure. It was really frightening.
But then the success is all yours as well.
It's amazing. I have to give that to everyone that works with us.
Yeah.
And for my daughter for sticking with me. And the clientele, they're amazing.
Raising and nurturing a family is hard. Running a business is hard. How are you able to manage both simultaneously? Is it possible to compartmentalize those relationships?
I think for a long time it was really difficult. But, I decided early on that what I would do, when I found out that you could close an additional day so you could spend more time with your kids, I took it. So I think it's a little insane that we only work 5 days a week in a retail business. But, it really works. In fact, I think it's of great benefit to myself as well as everyone that works there. We know exactly when we're going to be off. We know exactly when we're going to work. And it helps them to develop their families as well.
Debbie, put your earmuffs on for just a second. Pamela?
Where are my earmuffs?
Oh, I was being facetious. What was it like watching your mom growing up, and what kind of inspiration did you take from her work ethic and business acumen?
It's very admirable watching my mother, who was a single parent, thrive for her family. She really did everything that she needed to be able to raise us and, really be a great role model for us.
What's easier to navigate, Debbie the mom or Debbie the boss?
That's a trick question.
No pressure. She's just sitting 3 feet from you within striking distance.
Our relationship is kind of mixed within, we work together. She's my best friend,
Okay.
It's hard to say separate who they really are because they're really the same.
That's the beauty though of watching your kids grow up, is you go from mentor and leader to you can establish a friendship with your children and watch them blossom in their own right. That's got to be very fulfilling.
It is. I'm really, really fortunate.
Your mom had said that it wasn't necessarily her vision to continue her father's dream. Was it a similar feeling for you? Did you have reservations initially about staying in the family business?
I didn't think I would stay in the family business. I went to college, studied hospitality, worked for country clubs, planning events, and then, I realized that's where I needed to be.
Your husband, Matt, joined the family business as well. How has that experience been integrating him into the Sam empire?
Matt actually worked there prior to us becoming an item.
Okay.
But it's hard to work with your family and your spouse. You're always with them. But I think we all work as a team really, really well.
Sam's doesn't feel like a butcher shop when you walk in. It's modern, it's stylish. It feels more like a boutique almost. It feels like your current design is a microcosm of your offerings. It's quality, unique. It all feels very intentional. Is that an accurate assessment in the design of the space?
Yes. I really wanted to create a space the whole entire time of our existence that you could walk into our shop and it's like you entered a different world. And I think that happened.
Along with probably the most expansive selections of proteins, you offer an array of spices and sauces and so much more. Your customers are only limited to their imaginations, basically. Does your staff help educate the customers that are maybe not versed on good cuts of meat or how to properly prepare them? Do you kind of serve as mentors to your clients?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, our employees are great. They all have interest in culinary skills and are willing to share.
The local butcher shop is unfortunately becoming rare. Many people opting for big grocery chains or other outlets for their proteins. What are they missing out on by not coming to Sam's first?
Because we offer such a variety and because we base everything on quality and a lot of uniqueness. Everyone has to be somewhere, and our clientele is pretty expansive. People drive from great distances. We met a lady a couple weeks ago, I wish I knew her name, that she said, oh my goodness, my mom used to bring me here when I was in 3rd grade. And she drives from Brighton.
Yeah.
Someone told her about us. And I think I saw her every day since the first day that she walked in while we were open, and bringing all of her family from Brighton.
When you're in business for 4 decades, you can't help but become ingrained in the community. I imagine you have many stories like that of people who have major childhood memories attached. What does that mean in relation to, your father's dream? That's gotta be overwhelming.
I wish my father were here to have seen what it has become.
Yeah. You talk about offering quality, locally sourced proteins. How difficult did sourcing that product become during the pandemic, and how are you able to sustain through those last 3 years?
My goodness, most of the suppliers that we utilize are actually small family-run establishments as well, and they really catered to us. They made sure that we had the product. They worked really hard to make sure that we didn't go without. I mean, some of our salesmen would even bring us product on Saturdays when, typically speaking, they would be closed. They'd go in to the warehouse and make sure that we were taken care of.
It was a microcosm of kind of a spirit that we all had to adapt, and it was this idea that true community, we all had to kind of watch each other's back to get through these last couple of years. Is that a tight-knit community within the protein industry, I guess?
Not everyone, but the people that we've dealt with for probably close to 40 years. So they make sure that we're really well taken care of. They make sure they do what they need to do to make sure that we're being serviced.
You have a 120 cubic foot display of exotic offerings, from Australian kangaroo to Colorado's Himalayan yak steaks. Do those exotic offerings go quickly?
Yeah, we order that once a week, actually. It's pretty amazing what people are interested in trying.
How do you even start to determine the demand on kangaroo or some of those other exotic meats? Like, how do you know how much to buy?
If they have something unique, I think the newest item would be camel that people have asked for. I mean, however, we do a smaller quantity and then we see how it goes. And it's amazing. People that usually buy camel have never had it before.
Right.
But they just want to try it.
So these are, culinary curiosities for a lot of people that just want to experiment and try something different, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Is there anything that's surprising to you in the exotic case that moves particularly quickly?
I think the kangaroo.
Yeah.
We sell a lot of kangaroo.
Yeah. And rattlesnake, too. I mean, that's a pretty big one, too. We weren't able to source it for a couple weeks, and it's amazing how many people ask about it.
What do people use it in? What is it? I know I've been to Buckhorn Exchange, for example, and they put it in like a queso. Is it eaten like a fillet, or how is rattlesnake consumed generally?
Personally, I've never had it.
Yeah.
I've had it in the sausage because we do have a rattlesnake sausage as well. And I can do that. If I'm going to eat rattlesnake as a whole, someone needs to cook it for me.
Is there measures for conservation, or do you make sure that you're sourcing these proteins ethically? Is there standards for that?
Oh, the people that we source it from, yes, they have to. We kind of leave it as their responsibility. I mean, I do have customers that offer to go grab rattlesnake for me, but I don't know how to do that.
That seems like a liability.
Yeah.
Steve from down the street brought me 6 rattlesnake that he found hiking in Castle Rock. I don't imagine you could probably take that due to like insurance.
No, we wouldn't do that.
Any of those exotic meats you just, I won't try myself, you won't try?
My father is Chinese, so I'm certain I've eaten things that I don't even know that I ate. He didn't waste anything.
You also have an array of seafood that you offer there that you boast about being delivered daily, freshly. How do you manage the logistics on that?
So, I mean, we only bring in what we believe will sell that day. So, I mean, most of our product is a wild-caught item. So if they don't have it available, we won't be able to source it. But everything's sustainable as well. It's amazing. I mean, I sold 50 pounds of catfish fillets on Saturday. It's hard to tell what we will and will not sell. But, I mean, we just don't over order on it.
You haven't just witnessed the evolution of Aurora over the last 40 years. You've been a part of it. How has the city changed over the years, and where do you see it going?
Gosh, I mean, your perspective when you're 19 to 60 is pretty vast. I didn't think about my surroundings too much when I was 19. We just went to work and we did what we needed to do. And then, goodness, it's just changed a lot. It's just busy. I think within the past few years with housing being the way it is, it's even grown more. I mean, people could only afford to live in Aurora maybe when they're looking.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to anticipate as far as what the housing market's going to be like and how things are going to change.
It seems like there's a great opportunity. We've talked about the established customers that you have for being in business for over 40 years, but now you have new people that are discovering Sam's. They've got to be pretty passionate about it. And I imagine you have a lot of locals that swear by your shop.
Yeah, we have a ton of regulars. I mean, they come in certain day every week, you know, and I think word of mouth is the best advertisement.
Do you have offerings that you're particularly proud of, or that like you absolutely on your personal time have to take advantage of?
For me personally, I mean, I eat a lot of steak. So the cognacs are huge. They're fun. They're new. And I think the plate ribs, that's what you guys always bring home. Yeah.
Your father passed away in 2016. What do you think he would say to you, not only about keeping his dream going, but making it a continuing, thriving family endeavor?
He would be very proud. He would be proud that Pamela decided to take on the reins. You know, I believe that one day, I mean, I don't work as much as I used to, and I didn't ever think that was possible. You know, someone asked me, what would I have done if Pamela decided not to step in? I said, you know, I'd probably be working until it ended because I couldn't imagine selling it. I'd want it to stay in the family.
And I imagine that's part of the plan, that you take the reins and lead it into the next 4 decades.
Yeah, that is the plan.
I'm very grateful that you guys are here on a Monday. I know that's your day off. I know it's your family time. How important was it for you to find that balance between the grind of running a business, but also making sure that you stop down to reconnect with your family?
I don't know if I did a very good job, but I tried. You know, I tried to balance all of that out. I would make sure that the holidays, and Pamela doesn't remember maybe, because I said we're always closed on the 4th because the fall's on Tuesday. I mean, you base all of your holidays or your business on your holidays. Mm-hmm. So we closed on the 4th of July, and we always closed extra time on Thanksgiving. So we had some more downtime. But, you know, to be honest with you, I haven't had a vacation like everyone else has had in probably at least over 20 years. Like a week off, I haven't had that. So my kids didn't receive that.
Yeah. Well, it's much deserved after 4 decades. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope maybe in the foreseeable future there will be a chance for you guys to disconnect and go on like maybe a family vacation, or maybe you just go to a spa resort for a week and hang out.
I'm doing that this year. I'm going to go on a cruise.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be gone for 10 days.
That's awesome. Speaking of the holidays, just curious, you know, Christmas comes around and you have all these orders for prime rib, I imagine. Did demand change during the pandemic? Did you have to really navigate the demand during that time?
Oh my goodness. We were so busy. I think that when it first began, we thought, I would say it was March 15th. That's what the day in mind for me. Mm-hmm. Because I thought everyone must have got their taxes back early, because I said, what is going on? People are ordering outrageous amounts. We were working from 7 in the morning until sometimes after 10 o'clock at night, just trying to fill orders that were coming in. We had no idea what was going on until later that week. We had no idea.
People preparing for what might have been a long-term shutdown.
Yes.
How did you survive that time? How did you get through it?
Like the longest time ever. I think reflecting back, it was really only 2 months that we worked crazy hours.
Yeah.
But I mean, we just had to navigate how we were going to handle business. We stopped taking pre-orders because people were waiting 2 to 3 hours in line outside of our doors to come in. And we're all pushing around carts because people are getting 50 pounds minimum of meat.
That's a testament to what you offer, though, because, you know, when push came to shove, they said I had to get my Sam's before, you know, I can't. So, I mean, that had to feel, obviously, in hindsight, after it was all done, it had to feel pretty good that, okay, there's an established community that values what we do and needed it to be a part of their life during this very traumatic time.
Yeah,
and I think that actually people discovered us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people discovered us that maybe didn't know about it.
I highly recommend that you discover Sam's Meat and Deli. They're at 2300 South Chambers Road in Aurora. You both are gems here in Aurora. We're so grateful for what you do. Thank you for your service to the community. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your family, which is a true testament to the American dream. Kudos to you and your family for all your hard work and effort, and know that it's not unnoticed, that it is appreciated.
Thank you.
You can explore their offerings online at denvermeatmarket.com. And make sure to follow on social media at Sam's Meats. Thank you for listening to the Gateway to the Rockies podcast. Visit Aurora is the official destination marketing organization for the city of Aurora, Colorado, and acts as the primary liaison between meeting planners and hotel partners. As Aurora's Convention and Visitors Bureau, Visit Aurora's mission is grounded in showcasing Aurora as a premier destination for meetings, business, and leisure travel. Visit Aurora represents more than 75 plus hotel properties with 13,500 plus guest rooms and more than 1 million square feet of meeting space, including Colorado's largest resort, Gaylord Rockies Resort and Convention Center. As Colorado's third largest city, Aurora is located minutes away from Denver International Airport and showcases mountain views, memorable meeting spaces, and 250 plus international eateries that offer a unique experience for each and every visitor. As the gateway to the Rockies, Visit Aurora's role in the local community goes beyond marketing the city as a destination. The Visit Aurora team is here to assist you with your Colorado visit, from facilitating your meeting, event, or convention to helping you discover local flavor and attractions. Go beyond the boardroom in Aurora, Colorado. For more, visit us at visitaurora.com.